Good evening. We'll call the Joplin Schools September Board of Education meeting to order. Roll call, Mrs. Worsler.
Johnny Greenlee.
Present.
David Weaver.
Present.
John Hurd.
Here.
Veronica Harris. Present. Matt Robinson.
Here.
Marty Schroeder.
Present.
Here. If you would, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented, please.
Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Sherrick, a second by Mr. Greenlee to approve the agenda as presented. Any further discussion on this item? Hearing none, please vote.
Yes.
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 Yes, the agenda is approved. District celebrations. We have some wonderful celebrations tonight. We'll start with the Joplin High School Senior Sunrise. The class of 2025 was invited to watch the sunrise earlier this week in recognition of their final year at Joplin High School. This annual event is organized by Student Council, who provided breakfast treats and drinks. Big thanks to Stuco, along with our local Starbucks sponsors, who provided hot coffee for the soon-to-be graduates. Joplin High School senior Adeline Norfelice reaches 1,000 career assists in volleyball. Senior Adeline Norfelice reached 1,000 career assists, a feat that has only been accomplished by one other time in Joplin's volleyball history. It takes dedication and grit and a serious commitment to teamwork to reach this level of success, and we are proud to see this combination of traits in one of our Eagles. Congrats, Adeline. We'll be cheering for you and the whole team this season. Teacher Proud Tuesday. We are excited to celebrate our September Teacher Proud Tuesday award winner, Jeremy Schomburg. Jeremy teaches 4th grade at Soaring Heights Elementary and has had a truly impactful effect on his students and teammates. He was nominated by a colleague who had this to say about Mr. Schomburg. Mr. Schomburg does an excellent job of teaching his students and staying with his pacing guide. He is super adaptable when behaviors arise, and above all, he builds relationships with his students that last a lifetime. Mr. Schomburg has been a great peer. He has amazing ideas, is a great leader, always wants to try something new, is incredibly kind, and willing to have fun. Congratulations to our recipient of our Teacher Proud Tuesday. Thank you to our Missouri Bar members. Members of the Missouri Bar visited freshman 101 classes at Joplin High School to talk about career opportunities available in the legal field. The presentation was offered in conjunction with a renewed focus on career academies at Joplin High School to expose students to more ideas about where their education will lead them in the future. Shelley Dreyer, local attorney and president-elect of the Missouri Bar, said, "On behalf of the Missouri Bar, we greatly enjoyed the opportunity to speak to JHS students and allow them to understand lawyers are regular people and a law degree is not beyond anyone's reach. Thank you so much for sharing your perspective and helping our students dream big." Joplin High School FFA. Thank you to these Joplin High FFA students for their work to help those in need. Earlier this month, they joined more than 725 FFA members at the Missouri State Fair for the Food Insecurity Day of Service, helping to pack more than 193,000 meals for Missouri families. Thank you for representing your community so well, Eagles. Our National Merit Semifinalists. Seniors Sam Bowen and Christian Kavanagh achieved exceptionally strong academic scores on the PSAT during their junior year, putting them in the top 1% of national test takers. Now, Sam and Christian will get to work submitting a detailed application about their academic record, participation in school and community activities, leadership abilities, employment, honors, and awards as they pursue the next round of opportunities available to them through the National Merit Scholarship Corporation. And speaking of Christian, he was one of 80 students worldwide that was accepted to attend the MITES Summer School program at MIT in Cambridge, Massachusetts. MITES was a 6-week program where students took 5 college-level math, science, engineering, and humanities courses, as well as participated in student gatherings and got to explore the greater Boston area. MITES Summer is one of the most prestigious summer programs for high schoolers in the world. Nearly 4,100 students apply each year, and only 80 are accepted in the program. We are so proud of you, and we know that Christian is with us tonight. And we have a certificate for you. So Christian, come up and we'll present the certificate. So now Christian's going to speak a little bit about his time.
I know, it's
and share.
dangerous sometimes.
He's been with us before as our student rep. He's filled in over the past 2 years and done a great job. So we always enjoy hearing from you. We look forward to hearing from you tonight as well.
Yeah, so I'm just going to talk about these pictures a little bit and maybe just give like a brief, 30-second or whatever rundown of, what happened. So I'll tell you, those were probably the most difficult, academically speaking, 6 weeks of my life. But they were also some of the most rewarding 6 weeks I've ever had. I mean, they really packed just about everything you could think of in terms of, high school level STEM, college level STEM, in those 6 weeks. But some of these pictures were some highlights. So the one on the left was on the 4th of July. The city of Cambridge, Massachusetts, they had a large fireworks show on the Charles River. And I had a flag with me at the time, so I thought I'd bring it to, there was thousands of people there, so it was, kind of good to have that and be there. And yeah, I was just looking at the fireworks, and one of my friends, got the shot. It was like, it's very impromptu, and it worked out well, and it was a really good photo. So that's pretty cool. But the ones on the right might be possibly more interesting. So the one on the right I took of the sort of courtyard, the main courtyard at MIT with the columns and the dome. And actually at the top of the dome is a study space, and the picture in the middle is of that study space. And so students, who are students at MIT or who did this Might Summer program, they often go to the top of that dome to study. And so that was a picture there that I got while I was actually just about to go complete, if I remember correctly, a calculus assignment, got it done, and then went back to my dorm. So it was just, it was a really great experience. And then on the left is a picture of me with my calculus instructor, and then on the right is a picture of me with my physics instructor. So that was the final night of Mites before I took off back home. So it's a great time, and I'm really blessed and fortunate to be able to have done that. So it was a great time. Thank you.
Outstanding.
Thank you so much for sharing. We'll move now to our student advisor report. Ms. Rutledge.
The school year has been off to a great start, and we already have a few student successes to share with you. So, Joplin High School's video and audio production team, JetHD, their YouTube page has hit a milestone of 1 million views on all of their videos and over 4,000 subscribers. A lot of viewers literally around the world are watching our students' content. If you haven't subscribed, there's a lot of great content on it, and we couldn't be prouder of the hard work of our students. This last Saturday at the Missouri Southern Stampede cross-country meet, junior Ava Dahl broke the school record for the 5K with a time of 18:31. Joplin High School's JROTC hosted their family night on September 10th and participated in their first Raider meet hosted by Leavenworth High School last weekend. The Raider competitions entail an obstacle course, 5K run in combat boots, setting up and crossing a one-rope bridge, flipping tractor tires, a cross-country litter rescue, and other physical events. They also hosted their own Raider meet this weekend at Cramp Crowder with 8 teams from 6 different schools, including Joplin, Nixa, Nevada, Poplar Bluff, McDonald County, and Hillcrest.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Our next item is our policy committee. I'll take this one tonight. We have a couple of policy updates that we're bringing to you. We have a relatively small agenda tonight, and these are the first and final reading, what we're going to bring. The first one is about the district wellness program, really just who is running that program and what that looks like for us moving forward. Also support staff leaves as well as professional staff short-term leaves. This is really just an alignment with what we have been doing in the past, and that we've really just added the fact that we want close loved ones who are very close to us, and that impacts our ability sometimes to do our various positions. We added that provision into our policy so we can give our administration some latitude to work with these things on a case-by-case basis. So really, those three are our big items tonight that we're going to talk about, and they just make sense for our staff and what's best for everybody in Joplin. Our next item is our Long-Range Facilities Committee. Dr. Harding.
Trying to be on stage. We had our meeting in September, and we went through all of our support facilities, transportation, food service, and buildings and grounds, so a lot of activities. Our buildings don't have to, but they're very important for our business as well. So we look at those, and then we have a meeting tomorrow night, which we will kind of start discussing. We do not do all the elementary schools and support buildings, so now we'll start focusing on the middle schools and start putting some ideas moving forward and starting a plan for you guys too.
Very good. Thank you, Dr. Harding. In the strategic focus this month, we have two reports, and Dr. Dickey and Dr. Harding will both recognize members of the staff to come up here and address the board.
Okay, first up we have Tara Porter, and as she's making her way up here, Tara will not brag on herself, so I'm going to take the opportunity to do that for her. She's entering her third year with the district as our McKinney-Vento case manager. She and I rewrote the McKinney-Vento Homeless Education Grant a year ago, and we were awarded another round of that, which is $200,000 a year for 3 years. And so Tara manages that grant along with some other funding we've had for COVID that also benefits our homeless students. And so she's going to talk to you tonight about what she does in her role as case manager for these students and the great things that these funds and these grants are able to bring to our district.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know me, like she said, I'm Tara Porter, and I'm the McKinney-Vento case manager. That is just a fancy word for homeless liaison. McKinney-Vento is actually the law that protects students who are experiencing homelessness, so that's where that name comes from. When we think about homelessness, we often think about people living on the streets or sleeping on park benches or, living in their cars, and unfortunately, we do see some of that from time to time in our district, I'm not going to lie, but the majority of our students are under a different umbrella of homelessness. So the McKinney-Vento definition of homelessness looks a little bit different than what we think about. It is any family that is lacking a fixed, regular, or adequate nighttime residence. And so some examples of those are having to double up with other family members or friends. We have a lot of families that are not able to pay their bills right now, not able to pay their rent, they're getting eviction notices, they're having to go stay with somebody else. So they would fall under that umbrella. We have families that are living in hotels and motels. We have families that are living in shelters, transitional living programs, transitional housing. We have unaccompanied youth, mostly at the high school, who are without a guardian, and so they're staying on couches and, just kind of couch surfing with people. Some of them are in transitional programs for apartments, so we're working with those families too, and they would be under that definition of homelessness. And then, of course, we have the families that are living in RVs or in a car sometimes, and we're always trying to, work with them to get them where they need to be too. So what do Joplin numbers look like? I get asked that question a lot. It is ever changing, as you can imagine. We have a lot of families that are transient, that are kind of staying from town to town, but it typically is always right around 430 to 450 since I've been here in this position. We currently have 327 families that are doubled up right now, residing with somebody else. We have 43 in shelters, and when I say families, I'm sorry, students. 43 students living in shelters, 50 in motels or hotels, and then we have 15 right now that are residing in vehicles, or RVs. I believe those are all RV situations right now. And then how are we helping these families? I also get asked that a lot. Joplin, like Dr. Dickey just stated, we were the recipient of this awesome grant, and it's a very competitive grant, and so we're so fortunate to be able to help our families. It's a 3-year grant. We are on our 5th year because we were awarded it again, and so this is our 5th year in Joplin schools getting to do this, and it is a $600,000 grant, and so we get $200,000 a year allotted, and some of the things that we help with are all of our kids that are identified as homeless, they all receive free lunch. That's one of the first things I do. I make sure that they're getting free lunch at school. We do out-of-zone transportation, and that can be with busing, of course. As an example, we've got 10 elementary schools, so if somebody is displaced and has to go live in a shelter in a different zone, we're able to bus them out of zone to keep them stable in their same environment at their school. Sometimes we have families that have had to move out of district, and so we're paying some mileage reimbursement for those families to be able to keep that child stable. And we are buying bicycles for a lot of older youth right now who are maybe within the walk zone or are in our alternative school where there is no busing. We are paying for student fees for extracurricular activities. That could look like band, sports. I just bought volleyball knee pads, for example. So things like that. And also our high school has some class fees, so we're paying for those. Our seniors, we are paying for all of their caps and gowns. I do their FAFSA paperwork showing that they were homeless at the time of graduation, which helps them with secondary education and Pell Grants. We are helping them with registration fees for colleges. We help our community schools. We help our schools get showers, washer and dryers. We do food pantries, just anything that we can help with. And we obviously help with school supplies, clothing, hygiene items, and then I have, on occasion, have been able to help families and teenagers specifically with apartment items. So a lot of our seniors who are moving into apartments by themselves, we've been able to help with things like that. And then the main thing I do is I give a lot of community resources. So I'm talking to the community, I'm partnering with people, and being able to give those resources to families. And I will just end by saying that I'm really proud of our school district. This is my 3rd year in this position, and I feel like it gets better every year. We're identifying more students, helping more students, and that's a big part of our awesome staff that are just able to recognize these things and point them out to me, and then I'm able to help them. And I have a lot of confidence that we'll continue to grow.
Very good, Tara, and thank you for helping students as they walk across the stage too. I've seen a lot of students walk across the stage, and I always wonder, you know, we help them all the way up to the point, and then they're on their own in the big world. But it's good to hear that you're also helping them as they enter the adult world, at least to get started. Appreciate that.
And Tara, just a question. I commend you on the efforts on the grant, and if I understood it right, this is a 3-year grant. We're in the 2nd year of a 3-year grant.
Yes.
So what happens after that? Because you're doing a lot here. I mean, this is a tremendous amount of activity that's helping a lot of kids, but what happens when that grant runs out?
We request another one.
Okay. Is that what it is? Just the cycle starts over again?
Yes.
Tara and I worked really hard to make our name known across the state as we want to be a game changer as far as what we're doing for kids that qualify under McKinney-Vento, and so we present every opportunity we're given. We communicate with the state on a very regular basis to keep us forefront of mind. When we got this grant cycle, we were one of 11 schools in the state that received one, and one of the only few that got a second round of it. The first round, we were one of 14. So Joplin is doing the right things with the money and doing an excellent job of tracking data about how we're spending it so that we're doing it in appropriate ways and really tracking the change for our kids.
So they can see that, so they see the effectiveness, which helps put you further up when the next round of grants come out.
So we use the data a lot. So they had some ESSER money that came out, and so Joplin they've been in communication with us because they know we are one of the districts with a lot of kids, and we're supporting all of them. And so they've been adding additional funding to us, and so we're optimistic that we'll have a great chance at the 3rd round of the grant. And if we don't get one, we'll have to go back to the drawing board, but I know that we're trying to be proactive with getting Joplin's name out for the work that we're doing for our kids.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you. I feel like we always talk about the unaccompanied youth. That's always going to be, my heart is with those students that don't have anywhere to go, that are still showing up every day to school. That is a big gap, and I don't know how to change that, but it's something that we have a conversation about quite often. Sometimes we say we just wish we could have a dorm for these students, somewhere for them to go that is safe. That is a gap for sure.
I was going to say, she brought it up. We put it out in the universe as often as we can, that we need somebody in the community to open a shelter that's just for teenagers, because we have a large amount of high schoolers and even some younger that are unaccompanied and couch surfing, and it's very hard to get them into somewhere that we feel is safe. And I just can't brag on Tara enough. I feel like it's pretty constant with her tracking down these kids, or she hears that they're sleeping in their car, and she's going to go find them and help them find somewhere safe to be. And so we wish there were more opportunities for teenagers, but not also families, single mothers. Some of our shelters are high barrier and can't take older children. And so Tara has had to step in and support families that have had to separate from their older children. So Tara's been very involved in the city of Joplin as a whole to address the homelessness issue. Our focus, of course, is the children and what barriers they and their families are facing. But she does a great job at definitely housing.
Thank you.
Did you see these numbers trending a little bit worse each year?
Yes, I do. Cost of living is going up, as we all know. But really, I think a large part of that is also our staff. We're just doing a lot of education with our staff, so they're identifying more students for us to help too. I think that it was a big taboo, especially for high school students, to tell counselors or staff members that they don't have anywhere to go and they don't have a home. And I see that trend changing a little bit, so maybe the word is out that maybe there's some help through the schools. And so we are just identifying more children as well.
Is the grant the same this time as it was the last time?
Yes.
Hopefully they'll turn that up a little bit with cost of living increases.
We got more money this time than the first round. The first round, I did not write that grant, but I know that it wasn't written for the full $600,000. This year we wrote it for every bit of it, and we were awarded the full grant, which we would intend to do again.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, as Dr. Monge is here, I get the privilege to introduce our summer school director, Katie Ward. She's going to give a recap of summer school 2024 over goal, and she's accompanied by Captain Austin Wolf from the Joplin Police Department. And I'm sorry, that's not known.
Bring in my friends.
I'll explain kind of what happened here and give us a recap on summer school 2024.
Absolutely. So good evening, everyone. I'm so excited to be here and present to you on some successes from our summer program. In the past, our primary focus has always been academic achievement, and tonight I want to highlight some other areas, some of our focus areas that we dug into this previous summer that we found to be very successful. So as part of our commitment to continuous improvement, we brought together principals and directors to conduct a PDSA, review all of our goals, analyze how we performed, and then look ahead to set some goals for next year. Through that, we made sure we brought a lot of voices to the table. It's really important that we have a lot of perspective, so it's not just my perception of what went well. And through that, I'm going to be able to share some things with you tonight. So we have a list of goals that we set for the year that we were very successful with. Those are shared with you, but I want to go over a couple of those. So one was a development of a summer guide for administrators and hiring managers. We put this in place just to ensure continuity in practice and in procedure among all of our different hiring managers. We worked hard this year to improve bus routing and communication of routes to the community. We worked to improve elementary STEM challenges and camp offerings, again, to ensure equity. No matter what site a student attends, we want to make sure that they're the same opportunities. And then something that we dug into this year to achieve strategic goal 2.1, which is fiscal responsibility, was improve staffing efficiency and then efficiency of the supply ordering process. All of those were met and successful. Some more goals that we met this year, again fitting with that strategic goal 2.1, was maximizing fiscal impact of summer programming. So elementary and middle school came in under budget for our supplies, which we were quite proud of. And then we minimized staffing this year by reducing from 4 elementary sites to 3 elementary sites. And through that, we were able to hire fewer teachers because we didn't have to staff the 3, and then fewer principals as well. And so we had some fiscal responsibility there and found that to be quite successful and got really great feedback from everybody. And then attendance and participation, which is one of our focus areas, 1.3, we did successfully increase ADA for this year through our summer program attendance, so we're quite proud of that as well. Digging in a little bit to that ADA, enrollment ran around 1,800 for K through 8, which was down about 100 students. However, attendance rates were higher at the high school and middle level, which improved our overall ADA. We also saw more students stay enrolled versus dropped, which has been a pattern in the past, and we attribute that to that increase in student engagement that we focused heavily on this year and ensuring equity and experience in programming. Our high school enrollment was nice and high, and we're really proud to announce that we awarded 304.5 credits to students who were working to earn credit, which is quite an accomplishment, and then about 70 PE credits for students at the middle school level who were looking for more opportunities during the regular school year to explore other opportunities in experience, and so they take PE in the summer. As a result of these changes, our ADA increased from 245 to 257 for this year, which is a big jump, and we're really proud of that. Looking ahead to summer 25, we want to continue with our improved timeline. We tried something different this year with how we hired, or last year, excuse me, and found that to be a success. So we want to continue with that change in timeline. But this year, adding more teacher voice to the process. So we piloted one committee this previous year with teachers to bring them in to work on the curriculum and camp development, and it was a huge success. Teacher leadership and teacher ownership is the key to moving forward. So we're going to do that again this year, but actually expand opportunities so that teachers have more voice and leadership opportunities in the development of our summer programming. We also want to continue those focus areas next year for summer 24, or summer 25, excuse me, the same ones that we invested in this year. And then Dustin Dixon, he was our principal for the high school program, and we found through collaborating with him, he is a very analytical thinker, and he has some really great ideas for improving efficiency at the high school, maximizing efficiency, and so we're looking forward to finding some ways to improve just overall programming at the high school. That will become a focus area for this summer. And then another one that we plan to dig in continually is focus area 3.3, community engagement. We really want to make sure parents are partners with us in this process, and so we're reaching out to some more families to make sure that we meet their needs moving forward. Focus Area 1, academic achievement, continues to be our primary focus. Elementary, we continue to use our 95-group summer programming curriculum for grades 1 through 3, and we have some information here on student achievement to share with you. Growth on this measure, now remember, these are just 17 days of instruction, because by the time you take out field trips and other things like that, we only have them in the class for that direct instruction a handful of days. So thinking about in that short time frame of direct instruction, we can grow students sometimes up to 10%, and achievement is quite a growth for that short time period. And so we did see growth in most areas across the district and elementary at all 3 of our sites, which continues to affirm that that curriculum is effective in growing students in their foundational literacy skills. And then the real win of the summer, we piloted a program this summer called JPD Kids Academy, and I'm smiling because it was the most fun I've had at work in a really long time. So it was an absolute hoot, which is why I've invited these 2 partners up here with me to talk a little bit about why we developed the program, what it consisted of, and then our vision for the future. So I'm going to pass my microphone to Captain Wolf and Tracy Horton, and they're going to share their experience.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to come here. Really, I think a special thanks is in order. There are several individuals here present tonight that really made this happen, and without their help, this would have never got off the ground. And Dr. Saketa, for sure, Dr. Harding, absolutely, Katie Boer and Tracy Horton. They were all very instrumental, and from the planning stages to the end, the graduation day. Without their help, this couldn't have happened. But planning for the Kids Academy started in September of last year, where we all came together and started thinking of how can the Joplin Police Department and the Joplin School District team up and provide an experience for kids outside the classroom, but achieve certain goals that we wanted to accomplish as a team. And the goals were to enhance the police department's relationship with students. We wanted to demonstrate that Joplin Police Department wants to invest in students with the community. We wanted to emphasize education and higher learning. And we wanted to take students on a deeper dive into what public service looks like. So the kids were put into a week-long program where it was nonstop. We provided activities and different experiences for them to see what law enforcement looks like. And just some of the things on the agenda that we were able to experience were canine demonstrations, SWAT demonstrations. We got them involved in our drone program. We had hands-on learning at different locations, and we also had field trips to various locations. We went to the court system. We went to the Justice Center. We went to the training center. And probably the highlight for all the kids was the obstacle course that they spent probably an hour running with, and we had allotted about 30 minutes. I would definitely say that our expectations were met, but more importantly, I think they were far exceeded. It was a very successful program, especially as a pilot year, and we're looking forward to next year. And we've got some plans on the horizon to enhance it. We definitely want to expand the program to allow for additional students. And also we want to continue to find ways to connect with kids, especially in this. So as times change, we want to adapt new things into this program.
Mrs. Horton, what would you like to add about your experience as a teacher with this real-life learning?
Well, there I am at best, first of all. That was bigger than me. But seriously, I realized the little information, how ignorant I think that I was about the police department and all of the wonderful things that they do. I also was really pleased and honored to have the SROs that we do in our school district. So a big shout out to Officer Gooch and Officer Denning and Officer Barchak, because we are really spoiled to have these gentlemen serve us and also do the Rise Above program, which is hopefully where next year, if we continue to grow it, that we're going to encourage our 5th grade students who do the Rise Above program to go ahead and to continue their education. And I also think that Chief Pearson, I think he was pleasantly surprised and wants to grow it as well. I had not made contact with as many police officers and even Chief Pearson. I had never met him before, but I will say that Joplin Police Department, we're really, really fortunate to have the men and women serving that we do. It sounds cliche, but when you see all of the different caveats of their job and the intensity and the kindness that they display, and then just how much fun they had with the students and how they became just normal gentlemen, I guess, was really fun to experience. And of course, Captain Wolf was really supportive. Everyone was very supportive. So it kind of created a thirst and a hunger for the police department, and it gave a better, I think if some students had had a negative experience previously for whatever reason towards police officers or law enforcement, it created a more positive outlook on that. So I think that was a huge win. And now, most students now were jealous that they didn't get to do the program and were bummed when they weren't selected. So we try to keep it a little bit smaller. We only limited it to 20 students, and so we're hoping to grow that next year if you guys are wanting to help us do that. So.
Well, Mrs. Horton, I would agree with that. I had an opportunity to go through the Joplin Citizens Police Academy a couple years back, and really just couldn't agree with you more. It looked like some of the things that they did at the Kids Academy are some of the things they did with us as well. But I will say that that's such a great service for our community, and for that to be able to reach down into our schools is such a win for us.
And this partnership fits really well with our Learning Today for a Better Tomorrow in a couple of different ways. So when we think about academic achievement, post-secondary success, but more importantly, life skills and workforce development, this is exactly the kind of partnership opportunity we need for our students. And then we had a community engagement partnership together to support student development was pretty powerful. And we are very grateful that we were able to do this program, especially grateful to Tracy Horton and the SROs and Captain Wolf for being so professional and working with us to make this a success. So we hope to continue that in the future. Thank you. So what questions can we answer about summer 24?
Well, one question I have for you, and you've done this for a couple of years, and I can see every time you talk about presenting what's going to happen the next year, and then you recap. I mean, you can tell just listening to you, like, you absolutely love it.
I do.
And so there's like this passion, this love around it. So where does that come from? Because you can tell it's part of like your core, like you love this program.
I do love this program. I'm glad that you recognize that. I appreciate you for seeing that. So a big part of my personality is improving things, and so I really like to look at something and think what it possibly could be, and then the real power in that comes when I bring other people's perspectives in. So in my day-to-day life as a principal, it's a lot of react and do and do and do, but with summer I get to pump the brakes a little bit, listen to other people, bring other voices to the table, and then together we develop a plan to make something more beautiful, and then at the end, after this short little 23 days, we've created this really cool thing, and it just feels amazing. And I love watching the kids have fun with the teachers. I love being involved in that. I love working with my principal peers through the process. So it's just a really cool opportunity. And this year, this layer of bringing in the community, poor Dr. Mwangi, the text she received for me with my brain going, hey, we're going to model this after the high school career pathways, and I've got this idea for kids who are into the media, and I have anyone that wants to be in the healthcare field, I have this big plan for how we're going to do this. So everybody's patient with me and my big ideas, and they let me kind of run with it, and so it's just very fulfilling.
It's fabulous. And I take it you're interested in doing this again next year?
I will do it as long as I'm welcome to do so.
Outstanding. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
That's great.
Thank you, guys.
Before the meeting, part of why we come to buildings is really to learn more about what happens inside these buildings and to keep a close ear to the ground as to what is occurring in our schools, because we know as a board that we're not here every day, but we're at our best when we are close to the people that we serve. So I asked to just make one addition, short addition to the superintendent's data report, and we're going to have Mrs. Serbrug come up and talk a little bit about some of the things that are happening here at Eastmoreland and celebrate the success that's happening in this building.
Thank you. Absolutely. We're excited to have you and host you here at Eastmoreland this evening. We're off to a wonderful start. We have held steady with our enrollment, which we're very proud of. We've actually had so many kiddos come that are so eager to learn and learning their way in the world. And so we've been helping coach them and working with them through our transitional kindergarten program, through our kindergarten classrooms, all of our classrooms. So it's been a wonderful start so far. I also want to brag on my teachers. They have embraced the PLC method that the leaders were trained on late summer, and we're having those team meetings and just really working hard with the standards and curriculum for our students. So I just can't brag enough on the staff here. And we're just off to a wonderful start, and we're looking forward to a fantastic year again. So thank you for being here this evening with us.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And you shared with me earlier that 27 years here at Eastmoreland, is that correct?
26 at Eastmoreland, 27 with the school district,
Okay,
yes.
so, we know that hats off to you for your career here in Joplin schools and what you've built here at Eastmoreland. And we know that stability and all the things that come with that are are really a testament to how good a building is. So if we have more people who stick around and dedicate themselves to Joplin schools, then we're the beneficiaries of that.
Absolutely. It's wonderful to work for such an incredible district. I can't imagine having had my career anywhere else, truly, and look forward to many more years. So thank you very much.
Okay, Ms. Toft, health and dental reports as well as financial statements.
Expenses of $1,768,305.73, which is about 21.8% of our budget. Claims running for this year are $116,573 more than this time last year. Part of that is attributable to the 5 weeks claims are sit down every Friday and are paid, so those 5 Fridays in August. So that has a little bit of bearing on that additional amount. Also, I did reach out to Jamie because we have seen a balance in our Joplin decline. She said the recommended reserve is 25% to 35% of the prior year claims, which would be about $2.2 million. So we are a little above that right now. We do hope that as our new plan will start October the 1st, that even though we'll continue to have old claims trickling in for several months, we do hope to start seeing a little bit of cost savings on that. And also, the first 2 months of the year, we don't have our 9, 10, 11 months making any contribution because they're just spread over September through May. So the revenue will start increasing. Any questions?
Shelley, I have one question. I was just looking at the number of employees who were participating. I was looking at July and August of 2023 compared to July and August of this year, and the drop in participation. And how does that affect our fund balance?
When we, the more people in the fund, we increase our revenue into the fund because the district is paying for that. So we are hoping, and I have not, haven't seen the number on how September is coming out, but I'm hoping that when we plan year, it will increase. And what has happened on some of that is as people leave the district too, then we have the new enrollees don't start until October 1st, so that has a little bit of bearing on that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, on the financial statement, we'll go to the condensed financials. Our revenue is up $627,000 from this time last year. Part of that is due to increase in property and property sales tax and also interest income. And Beacon collections were up $533,000. Part of that is just a tiny difference every year on when those other districts will pay us. The expenditures were pretty much in line, actually a little bit less than a year ago, but part of that is cap outlay expenditures. And our investments, we still have $83 million. We are starting to bring some of that back. Usually in the fall is when we have to start bringing a little bit of that back to Chicago because we don't get our property taxes until December, January. The rates are declining this year, or this month is 4.336 to 5.36, but today some of those investments that I was looking at is they're down to 4.3. Wow, 6 months. So we will see. Any questions?
Thank you very much. Mrs. Worsler, any public comments this evening?
No.
Thank you. I entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda, please.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Greenlee, a second by Mr. Weaver to approve the consent agenda as presented. Any further discussion on this item? Hearing none, please vote.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Accounts payable, Ms. Toft.
Our bill list tonight is $3,939,021.89. A year ago, it was $8,342,893, and part of that, the biggest bulk of that is the monthly payroll. It's not in this month's bill list for the timing of cutoffs of the meetings. Any other questions or any questions you might have?
I entertain a motion to approve accounts payables presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Sherrick, a second by Ms. Schroeder to approve accounts payable as presented. Any further discussion on this item? Please vote.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. MEC Board of Education Meeting Room Remodel, Dr. Harding.
Yes, they have come up as well. As we discussed last month, the remodel of the cafeteria area at NBC. We also put in there part of the one what we currently call the Board of Education as well. We talked about the AV last month. Last week, we visited for the room itself. We put it out there for basically turnkey for the room and received our bids. And the goal for this is to make this room kind of the epicenter of the district. Make it a room where it can be used by staff, students, and community. That whether for professional development, whatever use needs to be, it can be a very flexible space for whatever it needs to be. And we really think that space, TV space, the cafeteria, and the Board of Education room needs to be kind of an area that can be very flexible. For flexible not only our staff and our community, but even we have come out of town. We often have teachers and administrators from the districts that come to our building for professional development. So we want to make sure when they walk in, they understand how proud we are of our district and our school, and especially that space is quite very well. So that day, that more particulars to the space as well.
Sure. Well, just so you understand, we advertised and let this out for bid. We did actually have 6 contractors that attended the pre-bid walkthrough. We received 3 contractors that actually submitted bids. We're very happy with where those pricings came in and the close proximity to each other, which says that everybody was trying hard to get done what they need to get done. We are continuing to work to try to value engineer to bring this pricing down. Actually met with H.E. Williams, the lighting supplier today, manufacturer, in an effort to maximize what we want to accomplish, but to minimize the financial impact that would be. So our hope is that we'll be able to even do better than what we are bringing to you this evening.
So when was this remodeled last?
We really never had.
Okay, so it's like original.
It's original. And every time I give a tour from the original students that went to Memorial High School or Joplin Middle School, Joplin Junior High, they immediately walk into the net lab. For some years it was part of it.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looked like. Okay, so it's never been remodeled. And then the second point, and you and I talked about this earlier, is this isn't just used for board meeting. I mean, when you think about the span of a year, 365 days, how many days a year would this room be used? Just so everybody understands that it's not just for the board. Yes.
We have people in our building every day for one thing or another.
Yeah, so 200 times a year it's being used for something. Okay, all right. Thank you, Matt.
I would also add to that, you know, it's that room, I'm happy to see that the administration is investing in Memorial Education Center because that was a high school, it was a middle school, it was a temporary high school, it's been a variety of things over the years. And, you know, we are committed at this point to making that our central office. It's the first place where people come on a regular basis to really show what our district really is. So I think it's great that we're able to showcase Joplin schools there, but also to be able to have a kind of a front door, for lack of a better term, to our community. And that's really the core of it. So I'm glad that we're investing in Memorial. It's a historical building. It has a lot of fond memories for a lot of us who went to school there. And it truly is a great building, and it's nice to see that it doesn't feel like you're walking into a band room anymore or a cafeteria across the hall. Those are usable spaces now for our staff.
I would move that we approve the Board of Education meeting as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Weaver, a second by Mr. Hurd, to approve the Board of Education meeting room remodel as presented. Any further conversation? Hearing none, please vote.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Policy update. Mr. Crawford.
So, Riley, you already mentioned some of these policies in your review earlier, but essentially these are just to clean up a policy that we need to do. We typically do a first and second reading. When it's minor things like this, we do a first and final. So these are just, in many of our policies, you'll see support staff leaves and professional staff leaves. Those are depending on whether they're classified or certified, but those policies read very much the same. So this language came out of our bargaining last year with J&EA. We like to make our policy match bargaining, and so that's why we made some of these changes, as well as with the wellness program. We are restructuring that program and developing the wellness committee, so that was just a change, a minor change in who is in charge of that. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer those. If not, the Board Policy Committee and the administration would recommend these policies for first and final reading.
Do you know if there's going to be a financial impact for extending the staff use?
You know, we don't see a great deal of abuse with the staff for sick leave. Yeah. Some of the discussion that came up would be that the family unit is very different today than it has been previously. And so this allows administrators a flexibility to allow personnel, those days have to be approved. They submit those and they're approved by their supervisor. It allows them more flexibility for, I would say, non-nuclear families that need to use that for situations. So there's no additional days being added, so there wouldn't be an additional cost. It's just they can use the days they have more broadly.
I entertain a motion to approve item number 3, first and final reading of the policy.
I make a motion that we approve policy update, item number 3, as presented.
Second. We have a motion by Ms. Schroeder and a second by Mr. Greenlee to approve the first and final reading of our policy updates. Any further discussion? Please vote.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Policy update, first reading, update of 24B. Dr. Cichetto.
As you see in the summary, most of these policies were changes due to Senate or House bills that the MSBA staff worked all summer after the session, or maybe a lag from the year before, 2023, to make sure that these policies were in place for this year. A lot of real simple things, tuition, setting tuition for different programs, memorials on campuses, closed meetings for the board, school admissions, and eligibility to enroll. So, if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
And entertain a motion on this item, please.
Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Sherrick, a second by Mr. Greenlee to approve item number 4, policy update, the first reading of update 24B. Any further discussion on this item? Hearing none, please vote.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn to closed session.
So moved. Well, I'd like to thank Dr. Smith.
Okay.
First for what he did in the superintendent's in the area, posting video, trying to see something, say something, all the craziness going on. And it was good to see the superintendents from all the local schools get together and present something that was here in the community to encourage and presenting on social media, talk to schools, talk to law enforcement, they hear about something bad.
Absolutely. And I'll build off of that. I had a call from the executive director of the Missouri School Boards Association today, Melissa Randall, and she shared with me how that is really something that, and you probably don't know this, but that they're thinking about using and modeling and sending out through the Center for Educational Safety throughout the state to encourage other superintendents to do that. So it really had an impact across the state. Anything else? We have a motion by Mr. Robertson, a second by Mr. Weaver to adjourn to closed session. Please vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much.